Many thanks for staying with us. You're watching Politics Today. Remember, you can also follow the conversation on Twitter. It's hashtag Politics Today, and the Twitter handle is at CTV Politics. Share your thoughts. You never can tell. We might just have it scrolling on the screen before the end of the program. Well, now to some other issues we've been following on the program. Only yesterday, the former chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Abdul Mumin Jibrin, was suspended by the House of Representatives and for breaching members' privileges, and he was suspended for 180 sitting days. According to the House, Honorable Jibrin has to tender a formal written apology to the House before his future resumption of duties to the House. Honorable Jibrin had said that that was a campaign of blackmail propaganda against his person by the Speaker Dogara and lawmakers loyal to him, because he also called the bluff of the Speaker and all these other lawmakers, saying he had filed proceedings in court to stop his suspension. But today, the Chairman House Committee on Media and Publicity, Honorable Abdulrazak Namdaz, has responded on behalf of the House of Representatives, saying they are not aware, the House is not aware of any such case stopping Honorable Jibrin's suspension before any court of law. Let's take a listen to what the Chairman, Media and Publicity of the House of Representatives has to say on the matter that Honorable Jibrin raised yesterday.
Jibrin has not gone to, we have not received, nobody has served us with any court. I cannot sit here and think in advance what Jibrin will do. But there's a punishment on ground. Whatever comes, you approach it as it comes. I hope you get it. But please, this issue of court, I want you to clear that there is clear separation of powers in this country. We have the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. No arm of government is to gag another government. And I can assure you, if decisions are taken here and somebody is aggrieved, he can run to where actions can be taken.
Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Abdulrazak Namdaz. Well, we still follow the budget padding controversy and bring you up to speed as events unfold. Well, now back to the main issue of the day, the Edo Governorship elections and the issues arising therefrom. My colleague, Channels TV's political correspondent, Seun Okinbaloye, has been monitoring the process from inception and is live in Benin City, the Edo State capital. He joins me on the program. So, good to have you here. So, you've been in Benin for...
Thank you so much, Amana, and welcome to Benin City, the capital of Edo State, where we're monitoring the Edo State governorship election, which, of course, has indeed effectively ended early today. What happened today that we saw right in this room where we are now is the announcement and the declaration of the winner in the Edo governorship election. Of course, that's perhaps no news again, that the party that won this election is the APC and its candidate Godwin Obaseki. And of course, a lot of reactions is coming on the heels of that election. For example, early today, we had a protest by pro-PDP supporters who trooped to the headquarters of INEC at Aduwawa area in Benin City, protesting what they say is the fraudulent conduct of the election. The candidate of the party, Osage Izeyamo, has been speaking about this case, which he says, look, the result is being orchestrated by the APC to skew it against the PDP. But of course, a lot of issues also are coming up. The police are also speaking and saying there is now a ban on any form of protest, any form of rally any form of demonstrations or any form of gathering that is political. For now, the police AIG Isaac AK will release a press statement early today saying that all rallies and demonstrations are hereby banned. Let's give you some perspectives into some of the figures of the election, shall we? The candidates of the APC come topped in this election, winning and becoming the governor-elect of the state. Let's start by the issue of the voter turnout. A lot of people will say there was huge voter turnout. Is that really the case? Well, to give us insight into this matter is one of the observers in this election and the National Coordinator of Election Monitor, Abiodun Ajijola, joins us on politics today. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
In all that we've seen today, there is a whole lot of controversy in the room when the results was being announced. You heard what the PDP is saying. You heard what APC is saying about this exercise. The APC is saying, look, let's come together. The election is over. Let's build Edo State. But the PDP candidate does not believe this election is a good one. Do you think this was a free and fair exercise?
Well, that's a big question, and I would say that you have to look at different components. If you look at election day processes, in terms of opening of polling units, they opened relatively on time, although not as early as what we had in Kogi, where most of the polling units opened at 8 a.m. But what we observed yesterday was a number of them opened 8:30, 9 o'clock, and some even 9:30. So it wasn't as good in that sense. But if you look at, in terms of the quality of the personnel, they did their work quite well. Voters were relatively orderly. There was little violence. So that was okay. But then the collation, right? And then we had issues whereby elections ended around 2, 3 o'clock in most places. And in many places we visited, even as late as 9 p.m., we were not able to get ward collation results. And that was quite interesting, because normally you could get these results much earlier than that. So after 7 hours, we were still wondering why we couldn't get ward collation results in so many wards in the state.
That process was slow, isn't it?
Very slow, and strangely slow.
This is interesting for INEC, and in fact, perhaps a plus for INEC, because this is the first conclusive election after the first ballot in a governorship election for INEC since Professor Mahmoud Yakub becomes the chairman of INEC. How do you think this comes for INEC?
Well, I think INEC will be happy that it's conclusive, and as you know, there was this issue of the legal time limit to conduct elections. So if it had been inconclusive, there will be a challenge to be able to meet up before the timeline to finish up the tenure. So I think INEC will be relieved of that. Of course, there was a postponement, despite INEC was prepared for the election on the 7th of September. So that also had brought in some intrigues into the whole process. But I think finishing the election, having it conclusive today, I think will be beneficial. But I think there are some things that need to be looked at, which I'm sure in the course of review, these issues will come up.
We're doing an analysis of a post-election analysis. Now, we have total valid votes of 582,589, rejected votes 30,000, total votes cast 613,244. Would you say it's a large or a considerably nice voter turnout in this election?
Yeah, I read in papers and some online reports yesterday that there was an impressive turnout or a large turnout, but clearly there wasn't a large turnout. Because if you look at the history of those state elections, in 2012, the governorship election, the voter turnout was about 39%, right, across the state. Now, if you look at it in 2012, 15 presidential election, the voter turnout was about 32%, right? And if you look at the voter turnout as released in today's result in the afternoon today, the voter turnout was 32.3%. So what you have is basically the same voter turnout as we had with the presidential last year, but 7% less than what we had of 2012 governorship election. So it's not an impressive turnout.
So what is the percentage for this one?
32.3%.
So it's lower than 2015 election.
So the state 2015 was also 32%.
But is it better than Kogi and Bayelsa?
Kogi was, I think it's better than, I think it's, I have to check that.
Right.
But what I do know is that for the 2012 Edo State election, it was 39%.
Right.
So this is 7% less. But I just want to add
Let's quickly go on a short break.
Okay.
We go on a short break. More figures and more statistics, more review of the Edo State governorship election when we return from this break. Join us again.